this hot with Giant. My name is Andre. Doesn't mean I'm Andre the Giant, if you understand what I mean. But you can play a funny game like that, if you understand the whole thing. So, if you understand, like using metaphor, like as I put it, some people use their brain like that, just like with this Jesus. So, you can't think like Jesus and do not do the same activity. And you cannot be Jesus in that sense. So, I wouldn't want to wear this hat and metaphor myself, Andre the Giant, because that's rustling. I'm doing visual arts to show you realism. Just like if somebody asks you, are you getting paid? Because a person is financially head only, just like a woman. So you don't want to stuck your mind or put yourself with a woman that's only thinking financially. Because when the money is not there, she's going to find the ways how to get it from another person. So if you understand that individual with words, you come back right from the same individual activity. If you don't have a car, then the individual needs somebody with a car. Metaphor back off a painting is like a car. And this is our gasoline, which you can metaphor. Just like gas. And this is our bottle of oil. Without it, you're not going nowhere. Just like the car. So in order for get somewhere, you have to do painting. So in order for me to be in France, I paint picture. For me to be in Germany, I paint picture. For me to be in Italy, Rome, I paint picture. Which I not hyping, I'm just explaining the whole thing in reality. So you can have the paperwork to fly there, which is right and normal, like a vacation. But for me, I do mine in an artistic way. So if I want to go to Paris, my whole intention is the Louvre. So I'm not copying any music video coming back from the Louvre or anything, because anybody can go to the Louvre. It's like any gallery. Just like me going to any gallery in any city. So if I don't like this city, I move to a different city. Then I work with the same gallery. That's me. That's my vibes. So I'm not going to travel around with depression because I do not like this certain place and I do not like this place. You have to build the vibes in the place, like a party. Just like a party, when the person say I do not smoke, then who gonna come to your party? No one. And then when you retract back to that person inviting people at their party who smoke, that's to show you the individual, you cannot follow people in that sense. Just like the Bible tell you, a woman's words is like a snare. If you follow it, you might puncture your heart in a way that you doesn't like. So you have to retract in the realism. In the realism, as though they say some ladies like car, and some ladies do not like car because they fear the other lady will crash inside of them because of the mental issue, and it will cause to another negative. Yeah, because if I'm a person painting and I'm one of my enemies should crash into me, realistically, that will cause negative issue. Because I want to take that as an accident, if you understand what I mean. Because he's an enemy of mine. I make money through art, get paid US, German, it can be Italian currency or Canadian currency. The individual will get paid one currency. Because he brag and boast that he get paid the one currency. So you have to retract back with art and put it back in them faces. One currency cannot compete with five different currency, and it's just five different currency only. But the currency coming back to show you is not the same as the Canadian currency. So the individual will sit there and plan and plot with their mind because the financial aspect going on. But when you accumulate numbers and numbers from different country, you still don't beat the one currency. So if a guy get German money, I never see German money before. I be like, oh shit, that's German money. I grab it, I take it. I don't care if it's even $1. So that's the same thing. So a guy who live in Germany will be like, that's nothing. Which I understand it. But when you retract back from people coming back who want the money, who is not from Germany, you have to put it back in a realistic way. That same individual who want that same $1. Yeah, in that sense. So going back to the aspect of realism, I do artwork, as I'm saying, like CD. So if the person cannot buy the print for $25, they can buy something on a cheaper level, which can mean equal to like a song downloading, same thing. So we work with people in every way, and people have different reason. Some people might want artwork, and they forgot that they have something to buy. So you have to understand people. Like if you go into IKEA and you make a schedule, say I'm going to IKEA today or next week, and you forgot, then there you go. The person keep back that in mind. Again, so you always keeping that person, if you understand what I mean. So when you buying teacup, some people like tea and coffee, if you understand what I mean. So with the whole tea, being a salesman, you have to sell the mugs only. So when you're selling mugs, I could be getting paid for print at the same time. So you don't have to work in a group, if you understand what I mean. So if any person in that aspect of being real, there's a word called chapel. So as all a lady or a girl will put it, because you're gonna need to go to the chapel with the whole marriage issue. So you have to choose who's going to be your wife, or God let that person come in your way. So when you go outside there, realistically, they say God make people, but you have to go out there and find the peoples. So when you go into a woman or a lady or a girl that's not fitting, it retracts back from their own talking. So I don't puzzle my brain why this person is like this. And I don't paint Jesus to portray myself as any good person, but that's showing you where the art is coming from. So you have a positive and a negative going on there. So when you reach back on the negative, you come back in modern day time. How you get paid? Well, I get paid through US dollars. I think that same lady or girl who want, whosoever they deal with, get paid US dollars also. If they're a team player and not the same run around, if you understand what I mean. That's no good. So art make you understand it fully. Because during 9 months period, where's the individual going to place his head, like the mind frame, while the lady is going through that birth stage. If he's a real person in thought, is he going to keep that self esteem and all that self playing to himself, or he wants to play around with the world during that 9 month period? So when an individual put off themselves talking to the chapel, mind you have to make a mind frame thinking. That's a life decision. That's not something you go, I want to marry somebody, and then you don't have a clear understanding of what marriage is like. That's embarrassing yourself and waste of time. And some people do that. So you have a choices. That's where I come into play as the picture guy. So you can get the picture going, and I be inside that modern time living mind frame also in that sense. So I'm not judging people at their wedding or how their life will turn out to be. Cause that's wrong. So I do mines realistically. That's like me saying, I bet their marriage won't last for 20 years. Well, I can't judge that. That's being unrealistically and negative. So you have to understand the realistic of life, coming back from the same individuals. So learning art, I want my wife to be in the same mind frame, but you cannot chase the same thing. Or your kids to be in the same mind frame. But who go provide that? God. So if you have a good team player, then there you go. When you have a bad team player, then you have to work out the issue. If you understand what I mean. Or that person cannot be in your sector because bad and good cannot mix. You only get the ugly, and that's not good. So coming back from learning art, that's why I paint Christ at Emos. So it lead me back to my last supper. So when I say last supper, some people may laugh. This guy thinking about different things. It's not thinking about different things. It's showing you realism, your last meal. And who go provide that? God. You don't know the timing of what's calling. So when you make the metaphor cell phone case, that's me making my cell phone case with Jesus on it. So when I get the calling as though they put it, that's Jesus calling me clearly. Because he put in the work and time, and the master with the money coming back from the world 25, the master gonna need back the money. So you make a different account. So whatever money accumulate, it goes back. That's not my money. That's Jesus' money. Because Jesus is number one. So that's my entry in art. Just like David. So person may thinking about art and painting, but you have to think on the realistic level. You must create painting that makes sense, that can retract and make you feel confident about yourself. If I was doing some type of crappy artwork and people dislike you and talk negative about you, then you will break and fall in. When you create good artwork, coming back from old master lining, and it sell just like old master, that clearly shows you. That clearly shows you. You get different currency and people talking shit about you. That clearly shows you, and them not getting the same currency, but they will want the same currency. So when you understand art save your life, so the individual can sit there and you painting, it bothers their mind to the sense, it drives them away personally. So I don't put in the work on people like that. That's what you call envious to the point. They will do something behind your back that take your life away if you think on that level. So you cannot put yourself in situation, understand people when they talk. Because certain people dislike people language. If a guy come from certain country, they don't like the language, so they distract everybody from that country. But you're looking at the financial aspect. You can get something from that country, money wise, because not everybody see him in the country. Just like me from Jamaica. I do not like everybody in Jamaica because they do not like my artwork. That's how it works out. And I'm not from every part of Jamaica, so I have to stick in my era in Jamaica. So I cannot say I dislike people from this part of Jamaica because I never been there. But they dislike people from my town. So I have to retract back in that sense. If you dislike people from my town, then my artwork is from that place. So you retract back on them in that sense. So it's like area. So if you paint Jesus and a guy come from a different area and he dislike my town, then there clearly shows he cannot stay in my town positively like that. In modern day time, that's how it works out to be, like streetwise. Cause I'm on the street, he cannot be on the street with me selling my artwork. He cannot be like that. He has to go. So when you have more thing like that going on, that's realistically. And if somebody see you with Jesus, I'm not looking to take in sides, but that to show you. You selling Jesus artwork and somebody talking shit, then that to show you. You cannot stay there. And that's how we work.